Hello guys, welcome to TurboTough. Here we are in a brand new video with the Porsche Cup car at Oulton Park. Yes, I'm going to pronounce that with proper British accent because we're racing at UK and this is a very cool track, very twisty, plenty of elevation changes. Extremely challenging with this car. Here I'll leave you with my last bit of qualifying because it was very easy to lock up here. Thankfully, I did have the opportunity to have some practice beforehand, and I found this track to be kind of more intuitive compared to VIR because, as you may have seen, last week at VIR it went horribly wrong. Plenty of accidents, and of course we lost iRacing there. We gained it back at Long Beach, but thankfully from now on it seems that we have a straight road ahead. We qualify in the back of the grid, and here you can see a little crash, which is just a cautious warning to what may happen if you barely brush the tire barrier. My right front tire is absolutely gone, and that's something to look out for. P19 back, the back of the grid pretty much, and a very high strength feel compared to my 2.4, almost 2.5 iRacing. And as the spotter said, we are going points racing. If we are able to get a top 10, that would be amazing, but just finishing the race should be good enough to at the very least not lose too much iRacing. It was a clean start, much cleaner than I expected considering how tight this track is. There are some sections of the track that are very narrow and you have to use curbing, but whenever you place some tires into it, for example here at turn 2, you get a bit of instability through the exit. And of course with dirty air and other cars around, we were in for a challenge. We were in for a big challenge. Cars tended to overshoot this hairpin a lot. We tried to make a move through the inside for P16, but Ryan and Otto blocked us very legally. Everything above the belt, nothing to be concerned about. I was also worried about this braking zone because everyone, including me, was going to try and do a move there. It was the longest straight in the entire track, and of course you want to use those high-speed sections to gain as much time and positions as you can. This last sector is very enjoyable because you get a double apex right-hander over here, which if you have to drop down to third gear, go on throttle, be very careful on exit, you'll get a little bit of a jiggle there, and then this last corner, because you have a crest, you lose plenty of grip, as it happened to Ryan here. We're almost able to capitalize on that. I flashed my headlights to the car in front because it was a bit unsafe braking like that, although understandable at the time. We don't take the off track here, but we're pushed by Ryan and he has to brake because he thought that car was going to rejoin. That was a possibility. Thankfully that didn't happen and we get loose on exit. That's something that happens a lot with the Porsche, and especially because the track has a lot of bumps and non-regular stuff, bits here and there, which leads to very exciting moments. This is another overtaking spot, the hairpin before Britons, because we're racing Oulton Park without Britons, which is this first chicane. And we get that long back straight. We got enough track there, mostly because I lost focus and there was a bump which pushed me to the left side of the track. I was also struggling on exit here, mostly because I wanted to position the car for a better exit for the little straight, and people are already fighting in the chat. I just wish that whatever comments they throw and whatever thing they're fighting for, they actually check the replay before making any harsh judgments. That's something I always try to do before getting into fights with other drivers, fights that probably won't lead anywhere. Here we're able to get P16, very smooth, no drama. controlling the car. Turn 1, you have to be very smooth on the initial braking point, but then you have to hold the brakes a little bit longer, because as the turn is pretty long and it takes a lot of time to get through there, you want to trail brake as much as you can so you're able to get more rotation and a faster exit, also avoiding an off track, because that's something that happens. Here we're able to trail Ryan. I found that through the hairpin you can use the angling of the track a bit to your advantage. Here we go into the inside of Pita, and we're able to modulate our brakes well enough so we're able to take the position without making any contact with him. And this was probably the cleanest move for the rest of the race. The rest of the race is going to be chaotic, just a spoiler ahead. Because first, we have a lot of pressure from the cars behind. And then we go and make a move on Ryan, as you'll see in a little bit. And that move was well intentioned. I didn't want to take him out, of course. I want to keep everything as clean and as nice as possible. I want to maintain a reputation of a mildly safe driver at the very least, because these guys, we probably met them before, and we're also going to see them in future races as I'm racing for the rest of the season in the Porsche Cup. Here we're trying to stay on his draft. The cars on P9 and P10 are fighting. He tries to go to the inside, doesn't work. I use the little gap on the outside, make some contact, everything good. And then, although I'm a little bit behind by the apex, he tries to turn in too early, and he gets the short end of the stick. I'm not happy for him, because although I wanted the position, I didn't want him to be affected as badly as he was here. He's able to do a 360 and keep it going, so no big deal there. But yeah, unfortunate event, although we're able to get into the top 10. And we are going to have a hard time maintaining the top 10, because my tires are starting to lose grip. The rear tires on exit, because I'm pushing them too hard, and the front tires because of the understeer. And that's noticeable here when he's able to go through the inside and pushes me off track. I'm able to keep the car under control and luckily avoid the tire barrier on the inside, but of course we lost the position there. He did apologize after the race, as you'll see in a little bit, and everything's good. No hard feelings. I realized that I could have used the left side of the track a little bit more and probably avoid any contact, which would have made me at the very least lose control of the car this other, if not go into the wall. It is what it is. The race is pretty much over from here on. Not many other things happened, and that's okay. That's okay. Not all races have to be that intense, I think. Of course, if they are, it allows me to get better content and better shots for you. But documenting this journey, I'm seeing and noticing that I'm able to be a lot more level-headed, and that's something very positive. I want to be as wise and as calm as possible when things go south. That way I'm able to capitalize on opportunities in order for me to hit that 3K iRating mark. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more sim racing videos and subscribe, leave a like. See you later. Bye bye.